Right guys, guess what I bought? Little Hercus slotting machine, 6.5 inch stroke, or just over 6.5 inches. Hercus made in Adelaide in Australia, probably late 50s, 60s I would imagine. Judging by the old motor that was on this, that was a huge, huge 1-horse 3-phase motor, and the bearings were just about shot on it. Actually, I've got it over here, I'll show it to you. There it is, and I can tell you this thing is heavy. Yeah, and the bearings are shot on it. But that was what came off it, so I put a 1.5 horsepower, 1.1 kilowatt motor on there, running through an inverter. Let's go back and have a quick look again. I did promise my wife I would be buying any more machine tools, and guess what? Sorry, sweetheart. Couldn't help it. I got this for an absolute song. Now, I've been looking for a slotter for I don't know how many years, but the ones I look at around this size are just out of my price range for what they are. And this came along and it was an absolute bargain. So I had to go to the other side of Melbourne to pick it up, but it was well worth it. Alright, I've used the hoist in the trailer to lift up the slotting machine, and I've unbolted and removed the base. Now I've lowered it down, I've gained about 200mm more in head height. So now I'll break the hoist down again, the jib hoist, and I'll reset it up on the ground to lift it. And then we'll drive the trailer out from underneath it and then drop it to the ground. And that's the base that came off it, and that was heavy, I can tell you. But the rigging worked out really well. Alright, I'll break the hoist down and we'll get ready for the next stage. Alright guys, just to show you, this is how I break the jib or the engine hoist down. So the legs are off and the jib is also off to reduce the weight. That allows me to manhandle it in and out of the trailer. Just worth noting as well that your standard engine crane won't do this. I've modified this quite considerably. You'll see in one of my other videos I can lift 1.6 tonne at full reach. The ordinary engine cranes can only do half a tonne, and I doubt whether they'd even make that. So just be aware, this has been highly modified so I can do the greater reaches and the heavier weights. This is a 3-speed unit, so it goes from 40 strokes as a low speed, 90 strokes fast speed, and 60 strokes medium speed. It's got the full adjuster arrangement inside there for the stroke length. And it's got a little flywheel on the back. Let's just kick it off and we'll show you this little beastie running. I will be putting start-stop switches programmed into this. So that's pretty much its maximum stroke there, just over 6.5 inches. Now when I did buy it, I got an absolute plethora of tooling that came with this. I got a box load, so that's well worth it too. Alright, there's a couple of things I want to do on this. Now, the previous number of owners, I guess, had a coolant pump on this with a coolant tray, and I want to get that coolant tray out. And unfortunately, it's sandwiched between the main head column and the base. So to get that off, I need to remove the whole saddle assembly so that I can get access up inside that hollow section of the casting to get to the nuts up inside it, so I can actually get those off. And I thought I wanted to show you guys this indexing mechanism, because that's not going back on it again, and it operates off a cam up inside there. You can see that little cam operating, actuating the arm, ball assembly, actuating a small gear, and that actually allows you, I can engage that and engage the rotary table. You see that just indexing very slowly. You can disengage it, have the crossfeed engaged, and actually engage it in a crossfeed manner. And also for the y-axis as well, you can engage. So it's a very versatile little unit, but I don't know what you would actually use those arrangements for. I thought maybe if you wanted to index for a spline or something like that, but it's too fine to be able to do that. So if anyone knows what that is used for, or what can be used for, let me know. Alright, one of the things that I am going to do with this unit is take the saddle off and build a new saddle for it. I want to take the rotary table off. I lose too much head height once I put a chuck on there. I do want to mount my digital rotary tables on there, so I can gain about an extra 60mm of head height by removing that rotary table and making up a new saddle that I can bolt my digital rotary table directly down onto. And that digital rotary table can come off and I can mount a chuck directly to it. But I gain about 60mm of head height doing that. So when I saw this advertised, it was very expensive, and the guy was having a fire sale. He'd sold out his machine shop, and his workshop had been sold, and he needed to get rid of 2 more machines, this one and a set of plate rollers, and the price he offered this to me for just to get it out of the shop, I just couldn't let it go. It went for an absolute song. So it's going to be a nice little machine, very small footprint. It's going to fit my workshop very, very nicely. Yeah, so cutting splines, cutting keyways, it's going to be absolutely ideal. But before I take all that arrangement off, I wanted to show it to you, just how that operated. Alright guys, we'll see you soon. We'll show you how this little project does progress. One of the many projects I've got. Alright guys, we'll see you soon.